I once found a quote from Nelson Mandela that said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Reading that, I thought about the essential question of teaching. How can I make a difference? Over the span of 120 days, I found my answer, and this is my story. When I was placed at Tarkington Traditional School, I was so excited. I was assigned to work in the first grade general education classroom, and I had a class size of 25 students. I quickly felt like a regular member of their classroom community. The media policy here was very flexible. I was allowed to photograph and videotape the students for education-related purposes. I contacted all parents and had no protests. First grade was an adjustment for me. I had taught big kids for so long, I had no idea what to do. They all quickly captured my heart with their sunny dispositions and their love of learning. This video is a great example of our classroom community.
Problem solving squared. Step 1, understand the question. Step 2, plan. What are you going to do? Step 3, try it. Show the work. Step 4, make sense. Answer the question. Step 5, do your best work.
I tried to use a variety of learning techniques in my teaching. Taking advantage of the larger class size, I worked with small groups in lots of different centers to keep a small student-teacher ratio. This student is working on one of the observed lessons from my unit, Plants. Our most frequently used technology was the Chromebook. We did educational advancement programs such as iStation, Edmentum, and Epic Accelerated Reader. We used the computers for an hour each week to practice language arts and math. This classroom practiced comfortable, unstructured seating for times when we had to do written work. This student was able to focus more effectively on her spelling test because of her access to less restrictive spaces. This is an example of the several projects that we did for my unit, Plants. For one of the activities, we did physical observations of diverse kinds of plant life, using magnifying glasses and creating scientific illustrations to help us understand what we saw. The kids experienced the plants using their 5 senses. Another example of a project we did includes these environmental awareness flyers made to advocate for the preservation of the Amazon rainforest. For this lesson, we experienced and discussed different informative and persuasive media about the rainforest, and then created our own awareness flyers to hang up around the school. The following Monday, I began at Lincoln Elementary School. I was really excited for my first placement in a special ed classroom. The teacher I worked for was a resource teacher teaching grades K through 2nd on the first floor. Since I remained in the South Bend district for both placements, I was familiar with the policies for digital media for the photography or video recording of students. In my letter to families, I asked them to let me know if anyone had any obligations to me taking pictures or videos of their child. I had no objections. In this placement, I was able to do lots of really interesting hands-on activities that were new to me. My students have diverse ability levels, so we did a variety of sensory, formative language, written, and fine motor developing activities each day. This student was doing a color recognition activity with Play-Doh. For both my placements, I used a weekly chart to draft my curriculum plans for the week. For this setting, I had to make it individualized for each student, and it was actually very effective in keeping me organized and on top of my workload. I got some terrific time management practice because of this placement. This is a student focused on developing a strong sense of alphabetical awareness. Together, she and I did a variety of activities to help her practice this fundamental skill, including puzzles, hands-on games, using manipulatives, flashcards, writing practice, and reading books. This is the first time in my career where I really felt inspired and capable of making my own materials. This is a file folder game that I made for my IEP project and is one of my observed lessons with my classroom teacher. I themed the game around spring, and it turned out so nice that I plan to use it again. I got to introduce my 1st and 2nd graders to a brand new unit, measurement. We practiced measuring using standard and non-standard units. This student was using pom-poms. These are some examples of kindergarten projects. This activity focused on shapes and numerical sense. They really enjoyed this, and so did I. Math is taught best through hands-on experiences, especially for exceptional learners. When the students had finished their required works, they were given choice time to do fun educational games. This included using Play-Doh, playing with puzzles, board games, or using online educational outlets and working on art projects. I really love teaching small groups. In this placement, I was able to foster more personal relationships with students, and that really made a big impact on my ability to make adaptations and guide curriculum based on their diverse learning styles and personal interests. Overall, this semester was a life-changing experience. I don't think I've ever worked so hard in my life. Time flew by too fast, and I know in these 4 months I've made tremendous professional and emotional growth. Every moment, good or bad, brought me to where I now stand. I feel confident that I am ready to begin the next chapter and become the professional vision of myself I've only dreamt of. I finally understand my personal connection behind Nelson Mandela's words. I'll carry this bit of student encouragement in my heart as I walk across that stage, my first steps toward my mission to change the world.